10, I'm recording. Okay. So yeah, and like, let's also not pretend like Beyonce doesn't just peddle sex. Like,
Why, if she's gonna do a thing with the Black Panthers or whatever, but she can't wear pants. She has to be in like a little like leotard thing forevermore. Like this is all about Black empowerment, da 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 da. Da, but I'm gonna be on stage in front of a bajillion people, but like none of her women dancers can wear pants or be attractive without like I don't know. I don't get it. I'm not saying you can't, have a costume, whatever, but it just didn't. There are just a million things that I could find wrong with it, but I'm also just like, she's an entertainer. She's not a scholar of cultural issues,
you know what's crazy to me?
What?
Okay. Like, I just skimmed through the video, and honestly, it's not good mentally for me to watch that video. Okay? I'll just be honest about that. It's not. That's not something I should do. But, like, it's not even like she's trying. Like, she's still dancing the way she is. She's still, I don't know. And the thing that's crazy to me is this. Something I've learned recently is that you have to plan and structure your life to get the life you want.
Fair enough.
So if I want to be a doctor of something, I need to be around people who are doctors and highly educated. Like, I have to do that if I want to get to that place. And like, why is it that in society, a lot of us, not all of us, but a lot of us, like people like Beyonce, who are not scholars of stuff like this, to dictate like what the trend is. You know what I mean? Like that's also part of the problem I have with some of this protest stuff that's been going on of like, okay, the people that are talking the loudest about, so I'm reading this book by this guy named D. Watkins, and it's called The Beast Side, Living and Dying While Black in America. And it's about this guy's experience of being Black in Baltimore. I'm up to this. It's a really good book, right?
Yeah. I'm listening.
Yeah. I believe you. And he went to college, dropped out, sold drugs, went back to college, has an MFA in like English Lit. Okay. If you have an MFA in English Lit, your specialty is not understanding the dynamics of racism. You regurgitate what you were taught in your classes, but you're good at like talking about and writing things, right? That's part of the problem I have with a lot of these people that we're putting on, we as a society are putting in like in the limelight of, even if they're not like pop artists who are doing things mostly for money. And like, if we're going to be honest, they're doing these things also for money. Mm-hmm. Like these people that we're talking about, like they're not scholars in these fields.
Yeah.
They're just people that wrote a book and have some ideas about what happened.
Yeah. It's like their ideas aren't tested for the merit of their ideas. They're given merit because of the people that are promoting them.
Right. Which I mean, I just feel like I read this book by this lady named Christina Cleveland, and it was called Disunity in Christ. Mm-hmm. Social psychologist. And she took all her research on how groups work, mm-hmm. applied it to the Richard Levant we typically see in the church. Mm-hmm. Which is applicable basically whenever you have two groups. She just applied it to churches, right? Like, that book to me was so good, and it made so much sense, and it was actually about something that we need to talk about. Like she said that the biggest problem when you're doing intergroup relations is not what I think about you, what you think about me, but it's what I think you think about me.
That's
right.
True.
So that's what you have to change. Of like, okay, you're sitting over there thinking those people hate you. Okay, and I'm sitting over there thinking those people hate me. Mm-hmm. So you're never gonna like talking on that. But like no one talks about that. We just talk about, well, this is what needs to happen because we're educated. I went to college and got a liberal arts degree, and now I have an English degree, and now I'm popular. Like, no, like you don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Anyway,
you even studied this.
We let people who aren't qualified to dictate the conversation.
Yeah. And I think it's like, there's a thing about just like when you like someone, or when you find someone likable, that can go a long way in the credibility you give them versus whether or not they're qualified. Like, just there's so many things that liking someone or being on somebody's side, that's why they get celebrities to promote things, because it's just like, whatever this actual thing is, if there's a person that people like and associate positive feelings with that's endorsing it, then they'll be more on board with it, more likely to be on board with it, like independent of the content of the thing. But like, there's a thing about like how there are doctors that if a patient, say there are two doctors, and one patient really likes her doctor, and the other doctor the patient doesn't like, both of them could commit the same act that is totally malpractice. It is absolutely malpractice. But the doctor that you like, you made a mistake, it happens, and they don't file the suit.
Yeah.
When they don't like the doctor, they'll do it in a heartbeat, even though they're both equally negligent.
Yeah. I've heard that. Malcolm Gladwell talks about that and says that malpractice is more indicator of like the doctor's like bedside manner, ability, than her actual competence. Because even if you do something well, but they don't like you, they're more likely to say, "Oh, that guy, he didn't give me my medication." Like, well, that medication wasn't prescribed for you,
right?
But he was a dick about it, and so now you're just like gonna sue him anyway.
Yeah. You don't mind that. It's sad how far that goes. But what you were saying before about that whole or what that woman was saying, I guess, about how your preconceived notions of what someone else thinks influences how you behave toward them versus what they're actually doing. Because it's all viewed through the prism of your mind and like what you think what they're doing means and all that stuff. I do that all the time where like I was telling Ellie about the karaoke thing that I'm in, the team that I'm on. There are these two girls on my team that will like dance all crazy at the drop of a hat. And that's really fun and fine. But like they'll twerk like super, like with no provocation whatsoever. Like it'll be a slow song and they'll like suddenly be doing that. And it's funny and ironic and cute and it's fine. Like that's cool. But, I'm on their team and they'll sort of ask me, sort of invite me to like dance with them or whatever and like do the like silly dance they're doing. But it's just like, I am not about to twerk with you right now. Like I'm in Columbia Heights, DC. There's a bunch of white people around. They're not white, but there are enough white people around that it's just like, I will not be one of very few black women in this bar. And I'm going to be the one that's like working super hard. Like, I'm not going to do that. I just can't. I can't do it. And it's not because anybody's expressed anything to me or treated me in any way. They're inclined to stereotype black people, or they think I'm some sort of like negative stereotype of black people. None of that has happened. It's just from being there, I assume that they might get the wrong impression. And like, there are a lot of things that I do so that I'm not that.
Hello?
It's like, because I'm assuming everybody, but they're probably not, It's my, hello? Oh, I think you froze.
I can still hear you.
It's just like, I'm assuming all kinds of things about what they're thinking. And that's where that's coming from. Yeah. No. It's cool.
Yeah. I do it too. Sometimes not with people and I'm like, I'm not going to eat watermelon. I'm not going to do it.
Exactly. I won't eat fried chicken in front of people. Anyway, like if I'm super hungry, I'm sure it'll taste amazing. But like in general, I'll just order something else. Exactly. I won't do that either. It's just I've grown up around too many white people, and I'm just like, I know I'm the only one here. This is gonna be weird if I'm just like, yes, let's dig into this chicken right now.
And no one has said anything to me about it. Like no one's ever been like, oh, you love watermelon. And like no one said that to me. Or if they have, I don't remember it. Like, but it's just like the idea of.
Yep. Me either. I don't know if I've experienced like directly racist behavior that I've noticed anyway before.
Right.
But I guess I'm assuming that the people around me will have these inclinations. I don't know.
But here's the thing that drives me up the wall. Okay. If we went to any other country, well, if you went to India and I sat down at a table with you and some other guy that we met there, right? And we said, oh, we got hamburgers. Oh, I'm sorry, we shouldn't. I'm sorry, we didn't even know, right? Because India cows are sacred, right? He wouldn't be like, oh, like don't be racist, like you know what I mean? Like he'd be like, yeah, well, I'm Indian, so we don't eat cows. Like, like that's what happened to me when I was over there. Like you know, and like I feel like in certain ways, other cultures, well, I said this, other countries have cultural expectations of other people, and no one flies off the handle about it.
That's true. Well, I don't know. Maybe they have
let me also say, I'm not going to say India is like the worst place. Okay, for like racial stuff. It's not that they're perfect about it, but we have this like aversion on certain things that are racial.
Yeah, it's like when you're at Thanksgiving and you have the uncle that's super conservative or something, and you're just like, well, I'm not going to talk about these issues because if we do, let's get real in here. People are going to be upset. It's like there's race, politics, and religion. They're like now the three things where it's just like, if you talk about this, everyone has a bad time.
Yeah.
I'm certain.
Yeah, I don't know. So that being said, I'm kind of just tired of the whole race debate, and I don't know. Like it's in some sense it's real. Like I had every year in Monroe they do this Valentine's Day. The Christian Education puts on this Valentine's Day race scavenger hunt for all these couples, and besides the problems I have with traditional, contemporary, conservative Christianity, it's also just like only white people. And so I told Laura, I don't want to go this year, And so this is something that I deal with on a daily basis, And at the same time, I'm kind of like, can we just not for a while? Can we just not?
You don't have to be like the conscious black man.
No.
Not all the time. I hear you.
And also, I mean, I feel like for someone who says that they don't want this, I'm talking about it a lot, but I mean, things are complicated. I have a family right now that I'm working with in therapy where mom is calling the cops on her son and trying to put him in jail. You know what I mean? And it's like, we can talk about how oppression happens and how in lots of cases, families are just messed up. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, he will technically be another person in the system, another number. You know what I mean? And the reason that he's there largely is because his parents don't know how to handle him. I don't know. So it's just you can't.
Are there issues at play?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's terrifying. I don't know. I feel bad for not wanting to engage more about this stuff, but
Why?
I also don't have all the facts on it. And I don't have the solutions really, because it's like like any problem in a big society can have a bunch of different parts. Like, so I don't know, like how black. Oh, I was watching this video. It's not just how white people view black people. It's about how black people view themselves and all this other stuff. It's just like there's a million parts to this, and I get it. And like those like stay woke posts on Facebook and stuff, I'm just like, I guess I'm not woke. I'm sorry. I'm just gonna roll on.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'm not woke enough.
Yeah.
Anyway, maybe Laura.
Yeah. Well, I also feel like, I don't know. Besides my sister, I feel like a lot of people who are saying some of these things, I don't know. I don't feel like they're well educated.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe that's offensive to say, but like
In general or about the issue?
Yeah, both.
Fair enough.
But I feel like the one thing education does is that it gives you critical thinking skills, right? And like my aunt and uncle who are like out there talking about fighting the power, like they're not super well educated. Like they barely made it to associates in college. Like, and like, I don't know, they don't regularly read. They don't regularly, like it's not like, I'm not saying that they're dumb, but I'm just saying I think this is more their opinion and their feelings about an issue than what they've looked at and researched on, which for their experience and their context might be true, but to transfer that out, if you're living up in Philly and something happens in Baltimore, like a riot happens, you don't know what's going on. You're just going to go off based off what you feel is right.
Yeah. And I think that's one of those things you were talking about, though, like the critical thinking skills. You're not going to go based off your gut feeling or what you think is the situation without knowing the whole situation. And I just feel like a lot of people, I do feel like the more critical thinking skills you have, the fewer extreme views you tend to have. Like, you might feel strongly about something, but you won't proclaim to be like, this is the only way to go. This is definitely the way to go. This is the best way to do it. And I have the solution. You know what I mean? Like, it's just, I think you see a lot more gray area. I don't know. Things just don't seem simple. It's like a simple solution. Just seems like there's a very simple solution.
Yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'm just weak-minded and like, I'm just, one of those wishy-washy liberals, so I can't stand up for anything. But I don't know.
I mean, I think the other side of this is like when I think about white people that are happy and content, the ones that are happy aren't the ones that are like out there like fighting constantly for social justice causes. They're the ones that go about their life. They do something good for people, and So I don't know. I think when I think about having a life that is worth living. So like the question I keep coming down to is, so what is the point? Well, the point of resolving these issues is so that I can live a life that is worth living, right? So that I can live the fullness of my life. Instead of complaining about it, why don't I just do it? You know what I mean? Like,
in spite of the circumstances.
Yeah. And so sometimes I feel weird walking around Monroe, Louisiana with the white woman, But I go out, we went out yesterday and went roller skating. You know what I mean? Just go live your life. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. Maybe that's not fair. Maybe certain people can't do that.
Yeah, that's something I was thinking. I was like, maybe. Yeah, some people don't have the opportunity to do that, I guess. I think it's still impossible to be happy under really serious, dire circumstances, but I don't know. I mean, if someone's really passionate about that kind of thing, I don't think there's anything wrong with pursuing that, if that's your passion. But if it's not my passion, I don't think I should feel guilted for not being there with them at the time.
I like that a lot. I like that a lot. Because honestly, sometimes I'm just like, I'm just done. I'm just tired of it all.
Yeah.
I mean, there's only so much Donald Trump I can take. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. That's crazy. So who do you think's gonna win? Like, bottom line, it's Wednesday in November, and
Hillary.
Right? It's pretty much inevitable. Like, I think that's almost like it's so early. Like, old people vote. And old people will vote for her. Like, young people are excited about Bernie or whatever, but like, you got money and like influence, probably like electorate. I think she's gonna win.
So this is what I learned the other day. So we're going through the preliminary nominations right now, the preliminary votings for candidates for the parties. right? Mm-hmm. Technically, anyone can still run outside of those parties, but the system is set up so that if you're not a part of those two parties, you're not going to have resources to travel, get your name out there, yada, 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 right? Mm-hmm. So the parties can do whatever they want. The parties aren't governed by like rules of like law, like federal law. Mm-hmm. So apparently, even though Bernie Sanders won New Hampshire because of the delegates, right? He got more than.
Oh no, bring up.
Can you still hear me?
Now I can. It's back.
Okay. So even though Bernie Sanders won the amount of delegates to win the primary in New Hampshire, there are these people called super delegates who aren't elected through any sort of party process, but because of favors to the Democratic Party, they're given a delegate chair, right? So Bernie Sanders won, but the super delegates are also going to go for Hillary. So that changes the number of delegates that each person gets, which means that Hillary will actually have more than Bernie, even though he lost, even though he won, right? Like, it's like we're having a family meeting and I'm going to vote for this. And then I say, Laura's is going to vote for that. And then I bring in you and I'm like, well, actually, Jody's been a friend of mine for a long time. She counts as family. So she's going to be the tiebreaker. Like, I know who you're going to vote for. Which is
wait, hold on. This free meeting will end in 10 minutes. The meeting host will need to update to a paid account.
Oh, wow. There you go.
Well, now you know for when you do your thing.
Yeah, I have to buy an account.
Are you satisfied with their services?
We'll see how the video turns out.
Oh yeah, this is being recorded. I wonder if it will reflect the times that that it like has frozen.
We will see, won't we? What are you eating?
You can count them up. I am eating it's like rice and hummus and chicken, and then cucumber salad.
You are making
East Savannah, right? I'm sorry.
I mean, it's not a problem. I'm about to eat something, actually, so.
Well, fine. We'll come back. I'm going to eat some food anyway.
You want to eat food right now? Oh.
Yeah.
I will say, though, I was watching a clip of Bernie Sanders, and he was saying, like, the truth.
Uh-huh.
Like, not like the convenient, like, we need to, like, this whole thing about in New Hampshire, I think about, like, heroin use, and how people were getting addicted on prescription drugs and then going into heroin.
Yeah.
All the people are now all about that. I was just like, this is just bull. Because you didn't give a crap about this before it was popular. And now that it's popular, you want to jump on that bandwagon, right? So I don't mean like that truth. Like, that's a real problem. But let's also be real. This is bull because you want to be popular. Like, Bernie was saying, like, the truth that no one says, that's the truth. I was like, holy crap.
That's what I hear about him, that, he's the candidate. Was it like at the end of The Dark Knight? Like, he's the candidate the city needs, but everyone the city wants. That's what he is.
He's our Batman.
Yeah.
Bernie Sanders.
Yeah. We're going to get Hillary. Hillary most likely. I don't know. That's the way it goes. I knew that whoever would be elected after Obama would be just sort of sloppy seconds kind of, you know what I mean? Like, they're not going to be like, yes, we're all behind you. It's like a free-for-all now. Weren't there like 18 candidates at some point? There were like a ton of them. Everybody's
for
like
the
grabbing
Republicans, yeah.
the post-Obama years.
I mean, I think Hillary will will extend a lot of the things that Obama did, which I'm okay with. Yeah. Well, actually, let me tell you, Jody. Let me speak some truth right now. Okay.
Okay. Sure.
I I used to like I used to like things like healthcare for everybody. But now that I'm an adult and I pay taxes, I don't know if I like that anymore. Like, it's a great idea, but the money has to come from someplace. And right now, 25% of my paycheck goes toward taxes. And I don't know if I like that. Like, I'm a little pissed off that I have a master's degree and working on a doctorate, and I'm maxing out right now at about $35,000 a year.
Like net?
Like total.
Gross?
Like total.
Okay.
And 25% of that is cut out to the taxes. That makes me a little mad. So, and then people, so you want healthcare, but you don't have a job that gives you healthcare. And then I'm like, man, I don't want to be one of them people, but.
But you know what people are going to say to that? If they can't find a job to give them healthcare, find jobs that are like part-time education because they didn't grow up with an upbringing that allowed them to go to college and all that shit. So it's just like that's what people are gonna say back.
Here's the thing though.
Some
okay.
People can't.
Here's the other thing. My job. Can you hear me now?
My job now.
My job now, I'm working with kids in poverty.
Yes.
And part of what I do is I go to schools and try to help these kids to do better in schools. And most of them just don't give a shit. Like, the school system is set up in such a way that you have 20% of your work, which is your actual test. You have 40%, which is in-class participation. You have 40% that's homework. So all you got to do to go from one class to the next, to go from one grade to the next, it's not be a dick in class and turn in bullcrap homework assignments, which teachers give you so that you will pass.
So that they don't get in trouble.
So that they don't get in trouble. Like, which is why the education system is busted, right? Because people aren't learning, yada, yada, yada. But the truth is like, if you just do what you're supposed to do and fail all the tests, you still pass. And then you can go to college. Like that's like
finish college.
I don't agree with that. Like, they don't finish college. They don't finish college not because they can't, but because they don't feel like they don't feel like they're welcome in those places. But there are other colleges that will let them in and that they'll feel welcomed at. Like ULM is a predominantly like black college, even though it's a public institution. Well, it's a quarter black. Okay. Okay. We have Grambling right on the state. So yeah, maybe you don't go to freaking Yale, which maybe but here's the problem is that if your guidance counselor says that to you, well, then he'll be in the newspaper the next week as, telling you that black kids can't go to Harvard. But I
don't know. I think there has to be a lot of things that go right for you to get out of college and make money and be able to afford either private healthcare or not. Like, a lot of things have to go right for you.
I mean,
for a long time. And it's like, that's what I think. Because it's more than just, I met a lot of kids that skated through, not a lot, but I met kids that skated through high school and got through fine, didn't really have to study, and got to college and or did really poorly because they didn't know how to study, because they weren't really counseled on how to pick the right college. They didn't do any college visits. They didn't do any of that stuff. There's a lot of things that go into like college being successful, let alone family life, support, money, that not even being counted yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You're like, I know, 25% though.
What?
You're like, I know, but that 25% though.
I mean, like,
it sucks, but this is the agreement we make. We're part of a collective society. That's like
No, but oh man, I
but you
mean,
didn't agree to it, right?
I didn't. I mean,
That's my libertarian friend saying.
I mean, this is. Laura's laughing at me right now. She's like laughing in my face right now. I mean, I know. I mean, like, what am I trying to say?
Oh wait, we're running out of time.
We want to just go to Skype.
We should switch to Skype. Yeah. All right, I'll meet you there.